we're entering a zone where religion is banished. Talk of Jesus, theories, scripture, and the esoteric is the forefront. Can you handle it? Alright. Welcome everyone. Hope everyone had a good week. Tonight we'll be resuming in Jubilees. As usual, the book that we're currently reading is the book of Jubilees, translated by R.H. Charles. Those who are on the video, that's the book. The link to buy this book to read it for yourself or to read along is in the description. And as always, don't forget to head over to the website, www.thegothicmystic.com. Many different things going on there. Currently working on other on projects. And there's also the dream interpretation that I offer. And if you're interested in supporting this, head over to patreon.com/thegothicmystic. As I'm reading, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to throw them into the chat. And I'd say we just jump into it. I got everything on Facebook, so let me actually pull this up so I can catch any chat on there. There we go. Alright. Alright, tonight we'll be going from 30 to 32, and I actually realized that we're almost finished with this. This thing has a total of pages, come on, 50 chapters, so we're almost finished. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna read next, whether it's just a regular or another apocrypha. And I actually like to, like how before I got everyone's opinion, kind of wondering what y'all think I should read next. If I should read just a regular canonized book, or if I should buy another apocrypha and read out of that. Alright, there we go. Alright, without further ado, chapter 30. In the first year of the 6th week, he went up to Salem, to the east of Shechem, in peace in the 4th month. And there they carried off Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, into the house of Shechem, and the son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the land, and he lay with her and defiled her. And she was a little girl, child of 12 years, and he besought his father and her brothers that she might be given to him to wife. And Jacob and his sons were wroth because of the men of Shechem, for they had defiled Dinah, their sister, and they spake to them with evil intent, and dealt deceitfully with them, and beguiled them. And Simeon and Levi came unexpectedly to Shechem, and executed judgment on all the men of Shechem, and slew all the men whom they found in it, and left not a single one remaining in it. They slew all the torments, because they had dishonored their sister Dinah. And thus let it not again be done from henceforth, that a daughter of Israel be defiled. For judgment is ordained in heaven against them, that they should destroy with the sword all the men of the Shechemites, because they had wrought shame in Israel. And then the Lord delivered them into the hands of the sons of Jacob, that they might exterminate them with the sword, and execute judgment upon them, that it might not thus again be done in Israel, that a virgin of Israel be defiled. And if there is any man who wishes in Israel to give his daughter or his sister to any man who is of the seed of the Gentiles, he shall surely die, and they shall stone him with stones, for he hath wrought shame in Israel, and they shall burn the woman with fire, because she dishonored the name of the house of her father. And she shall be rooted out of Israel, and let not an adulteress and no uncleanness be found in Israel throughout all the days of the generations of the earth. For Israel is holy unto the Lord, and every man who has defiled it shall surely die. They shall stone him with stones, for thus has it been ordained and written in the heavenly tablets regarding all the seed of Israel. He who defiled it shall surely die, and he shall be stoned with stones. And to this law there is no limit of days, and no remission, nor any atonement, but the man who has defiled his daughter shall be rooted out in the midst of all Israel, because he has given of his seed to Moloch, and wrought imperious as so to defile it, that word. And to thou, Moses, command the children of Israel, and exhort them not to give their daughters to Gentiles, and not to take for their sons any daughters of the Gentiles, for this is an abominable before the Lord. For this reason I have written for thee in the words of the law all the deeds of the Shechemites, which they wrought against Dinah, and how the sons of Jacob spake, saying, We will not give our daughter to a man who is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us, and it is a reproach to Israel, to those who live, and to those who take the daughters of the Gentiles, for this is unclean and abominable to Israel. And Israel will not be free from this uncleanness, if it has a wife of the daughters of the Gentiles, or has given any of his daughters to a man who is of any of the Gentiles. For there will be plague upon plague, and curse upon curse, and every judgment and plague and curse will come, if he do this thing, or hide his eyes from those who commit uncleanness, or those who defile the sanctuary of the Lord, or those who profane his holy name, then will the whole nation together be judged for all the uncleanness and profanation of this man, and there will be no respect of persons, and no consideration of persons, and no receiving at his hands of fruits and offerings, and burnt offerings, and fat, nor the fragrance of sweet savor, so as to accept it. And so fare every man or woman in Israel who defiles the sanctuary. For this reason I have commanded thee, saying, Testify this testimony to Israel. See how the Shechemites fared and their sons, how they were delivered into the hands of 2 sons of Jacob, and they all slew them under tortures, and it was reckoned unto them for righteousness, and it was written down to them for righteousness. And the seed of Levi was chosen for the priesthood, and to be Levites, that they might minister before the Lord as we continually, and that Levi and his sons may be blessed forever. For he was zealous to execute righteousness and judgment and vengeance on all those who arose against Israel. And so they inscribe as a testimony in his favor on the heavenly tablets blessing and righteousness before the God of all. And we remember the righteousness which the man fulfilled during his life at all periods of the year, until 1,000 generations they will record it, and it will come to him and to his descendants after him, and he has been recorded on the heavenly tablets as a friend and a righteous man. All this account I have written for thee, and have commanded thee to say to the children of Israel that they should not commit sin nor transgress the ordinances nor break the covenant which has been ordained for them, but they should fulfill it and be recorded as friends. But if they transgress and work uncleanness in every way, they will be recorded on the heavenly tablets as adversaries, and they will be destroyed out of the book of life, and they will be recorded in the book of those who will be destroyed, and with those who will be rooted out of the earth. And on that day, when the sons of Jacob slew Shechem, a writing was recorded in their favor in heaven, that they had executed righteousness and uprightness and vengeance on the sinners, and it was written for a blessing. And they brought Dinah their sister out of the house of Shechem, and they took captive everything that was in Shechem, their sheep and their oxen and their asses and all their wealth and all their flocks, and brought them all to Jacob their father. And he reproached them because they had put the city to the sword, for he feared those who dwelt in the land, the Canaanites and Perizzites. And the dread of the Lord was upon all the cities which are around about Shechem, and they did not rise to pursue after the sons of Jacob, for terror had fallen upon them. 31. And on the new moon of the month Jacob spake to all the people of his house, saying, Purify yourselves and change your garments, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, where I vowed a vow to him on the day when I fled from the face of Esau my brother, because he has been with me and brought me into this land in peace, and put ye away the strange gods that are among you. And they gave up the strange gods, and that which was in their ear, and which was on their necks, and the idols which Rachel stole from Laban her father, she gave wholly to Jacob. And he burnt and brake them to pieces, and destroyed them, and hid them under an oak which is in the land of Shechem. And he went up on the new moon of the 7th month to Bethel, and he built an altar at the place where he had slept, and he set up a pillar there, and sent word to his father Isaac to come to him to his sacrifice, and to his mother Rebekah. And Isaac said, Let my son Jacob come, and let me see him before I die. And Jacob went to his father Isaac and his mother Rebekah to the house of his father Abraham, and he took 2 of his sons with him, Levi and Judah. And he came to his father Isaac and to his mother Rebekah. And Rebekah came forth from the tower to the front of it to kiss Jacob and embrace him, for her spirit had revived when she heard, Behold, Jacob thy son has come. And she kissed him, and saw his 2 sons. She recognized them, and said unto him, Are these thy sons, my son? And she embraced them, and kissed them, and blessed them, saying, In you shall the seed of Abraham become illustrious, and ye shall prove a blessing on the earth. And Jacob went into his Isaac his father to the chamber where he lay, and his 2 sons were with him. And he took the hand of his father, and stooping down he kissed him. And Isaac clung to the neck of Jacob his son, and wept upon his neck. And the darkness left the eyes of Isaac, and he saw the 2 sons of Jacob, Levi and Judah. And he said, Are these thy sons, my son? For they are like thee. And he said unto him that they were truly his sons, and thou hast truly seen that they are truly my sons. And they came near to him, And he turned and kissed them and embraced them both. And the spirit of prophecy came down into his mouth, and took Levi by his right hand, and Judah by his left. And he turned to Levi first, and began to bless him first, and said unto him, May the God of all, the very Lord of all the ages, bless thee, and thy children throughout all the ages. And may the Lord give to thee and to thy son greatness and great glory, and cause thee and thy seed from among all flesh to approach him to serve in his sanctuary as the angels of the presence, and as the holy ones, even as they shall the seed of thy sons be glory and greatness and holiness. And may he make them great unto all the ages, and they shall be judges and princes and chiefs of all the seed of the sons of Jacob. And they shall speak the word of the Lord in righteousness, and they shall judge all his judgments in righteousness. And they shall declare my ways to Jacob, and my paths to Israel. And the blessing of the Lord shall be given in their mouths, to bless all the seed of the beloved. Thy mother has called thy name Levi, and justly as she called thy name, thou shalt be joined to the Lord. And be the companion of all the sons of Jacob. Let his table be thine, and do thou and thy sons eat thereof. And may thy table be full unto all generations, and thy food fail not unto all the ages. Let all who hate thee fall down before thee, and let thy adversaries be rooted out and perish. And blessed be he that blesses thee, and cursed be every nation that curses thee. And to Judah he said, May the Lord give thee strength and power to tread down all that hate thee. A prince should thou be, thou and one of thy sons over the sons of Jacob. May thy name and the name of thy sons go forth and traverse every land and region. Then shall the Gentiles fear before thy face, and all the nations shall quake, and all the nations shall quake, or all the people shall quake, correction. In thee shall be the help of Jacob, and in thee be found the salvation of Israel. And when thou sittest on the throne of honor in thy righteousness, there shall be great peace for all the seed of the sons of the beloved. Blessed be he that blessed thee, and all that hate thee and afflict thee and curse thee shall be rooted out and destroyed from the earth, and be accursed. And turning he kissed him again, and embraced him, and rejoiced greatly, for he had seen the sons of Jacob his son in very truth. And he went forth from between his feet, and fell down, and bowed down to him, and he blessed them, and rested there with Isaac his son, or Isaac his father, that night. And they eat and drank with joy. And he made the sons of Jacob sleep, the one on the right hand, and the one on the other on his left. And it was counted to him for righteousness. And Jacob told his father everything during the night, how the Lord had shown him great mercy, and how he had prospered him in all his ways, and protected him from all evil. And Isaac blessed the God of his father Abraham, who had not withdrawn his mercy and his righteousness from the sons of his servant Isaac. And in the morning Jacob told his father Isaac the vow which he had vowed to the Lord, and the vision which he had seen, and that he had built an altar, and that everything was ready for the sacrifice to be made before the Lord, as he had vowed, and that he had come to set him on the ass. And Isaac said unto Jacob his son, I am not able to go with thee, for I am old, and not able to bear the way. Go, my son, in peace, for I am 165 years this day. I am no longer able to journey. Set thy mother on an ass, and let her go with thee. And I know, my son, that thou hast come on my account, and may this day be blessed on which thou hast seen me alive, and I also have seen thee, my son. Mayest thou prosper, and fulfill the vow which thou hast vowed, and put not off thy vow. For thou shalt be called to an account as touching the vow. Now therefore make haste to perform it, and may he be pleased who has made all things, to whom thou hast vowed the vow. And he said to Rebekah, Go with Jacob my son. And Rebekah went with Jacob her son, and Deborah with her, and they came to Bethel. And Jacob remembered the prayer which his father had blessed him and his 2 sons, Levi and Judah, and he rejoiced and blessed the God of his fathers, Abraham and Isaac. And he said, Now I know that I have an eternal hope, and my sons also, before the God of all, and that thus it is ordained concerning the 2, and they record it as an eternal testimony unto them on the heavenly tablets, how Isaac blessed them. 32. And he abode that night at Bethel, and Levi dreamed that they had ordained him the priest of the Most High God, him and his sons forever. And he awoke from his sleep and blessed the Lord. And Jacob rose early in the morning on the 14th of the month, and he gave a tithe of all that came with him, both men and cattle, both gold, and every vessel and garment. Yea, he gave tithes to all. And in those days Rachel became pregnant with her son Benjamin. And Jacob counted his sons from him upwards, and Levi fell to the portion of the Lord. And his father clothed him in the garments of the priesthood, and filled his hands. And on the 15th of this month he brought to the altar 14 oxen from among the cattle, and 28 rams, and 49 sheep, and 7 lambs, and 21 kids of the goat, as a burnt offering on the altars of sacrifice, well pleasing for a sweet savor before God. This was his offering in consequence of the vow which he had vowed, that he would give a tenth, with their fruit offerings and their drink offerings. And when the fire had consumed it, he burnt incense on the fire over the fire. And for a thank offering 2 oxen, and 4 rams, and 4 sheep, 4 he-goats, and 2 sheep of a year old, and 2 kids of the goats. And thus he did daily for 7 days. And when he and all his sons and men were eating this with joy there during 7 days, and blessing and thanking the Lord, who had delivered him out of his tribulation, and had given him his vow. And he tithed all the clean animals, and made a burnt sacrifice. But the unclean animals he gave not to Levi his son, and he gave him all the souls of the men. And Levi just discharged the priestly office at Bethel before Jacob his father, in preference to his 10 brothers. And when he was priest there, and Jacob gave his vow, thus he tithed again the tithe to the Lord, and sanctified it, and it became holy unto him. And for this reason it is ordained on the heavenly tablets as a law for the tithing again the tithe to eat before the Lord from year to year, in the place where it is chosen that his name should dwell. And to this law there is no limit of days forever. This ordinance is written that it may be fulfilled from year to year, in eating the second tithe before the Lord in the place where it had been chosen, and nothing shall remain over from it from this year to the year following. For in its year shall the seed be eaten till the days of the gathering of the seed of the year. and the wine till the days of the wine, and all the oil till the days of its season. And all that is left thereof and becomes old, let it be regarded as polluted, and let it be burnt with fire, for it is unclean. And thus let them eat it together in the sanctuary, and let them not suffer it to become old. And all the tithes of the oxen and the sheep shall be holy unto the Lord, and shall belong to his priests, which they will eat before him from year to year. For thus it is ordained and engraven regarding the tithe on the heavenly tablets. And on the following night, on the 22nd day of this month, Jacob resolved to build that place, and to surround the court with a wall, and to sanctify it, and make it holy forever, for himself and his children after him. And the Lord appeared to him by night, and blessed him, and said unto him, Thy name shall not be called Jacob, but Israel shall they name thy name. And he said unto him again, I am the Lord who created the heaven and the earth, and I will increase thee and multiply thee exceedingly. And kings shall come forth from thee, and they shall judge everywhere, wherever the foot of the sons of men has trodden. And I will give to thy seed all the earth which is under heaven, and they shall judge all the nations according to their desires. And after that they shall get possession of the whole earth, and inherit it forever. And he finished speaking with him, and he went up from him, and Jacob looked till he had ascended into heaven. And he saw in a vision of the night, and behold, an angel descended from heaven with 7 tablets in his hands, and he gave them to Jacob, and he read them, and knew all that was written therein, which would befall him and his sons throughout all the ages. And he showed him all that was written on the tablets, and said unto him, Do not build this place, and do not make it an eternal sanctuary, and do not dwell here, for this is not the place. Go to the house of Abraham thy father, and dwell with Isaac thy father, until the day of the death of thy father. For in Egypt thou shalt die in peace, and in this land thou shalt be buried with honor in the sepulchre of thy fathers, with Abraham and Isaac. Fear not, for as thou hast seen and read, thus shall it all be. And thou write down everything as thou hast seen and read. And Jacob said, Lord, how can I remember all that I have seen, read, and seen? And he said unto him, I will bring all things to thy remembrance. And he went up from him, and he woke from his sleep, and remembered everything which he had read and seen. And he wrote down all the words that he had read and seen. And he celebrated there yet another day, and he sacrificed thereon according to all that he sacrificed on the former days, and called its name Addition, for this day was added in the former days he had called the feast. And thus it was manifested that it should be, and it is written in the heavenly tablets, wherefore it was revealed to him that he should celebrate it, and add it to the 7 days of the feast. And its name was called Addition, because it was recorded amongst the days of the feast, days according to the number of the days of the year. And in the night, on the 23rd of this month, Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and they buried her beneath the city under the oak of the river. And he called the name of this place the river of Deborah. And the oak of the mourning of Deborah. And Rebekah went and returned to her house, to his father Isaac. And Jacob sent by her hand rams and sheep and he-goats, that she should prepare a meal for his father, such as he desired. And he went after his mother till he came to the land of Kebratin, and he dwelt there. And Rachel bare a son in the night, and called his name Son of My Sorrow, for she suffered to give him birth. But his father called his name Benjamin. On the 11th of the 8th month, in the first of the 6th week of this Jubilee. And Rebekah died there, and she was buried in the land of Ephrath. The same is Bethlehem. And Jacob built a pillar on the grave of Rachel, on the road above her grave. And we land at 33. We'll be continuing this next week. Thank everyone for joining me. Hope everyone has a good weekend, and be sure to join me on Sunday for the weekly prayer. And be sure to throw me any, or submit, whether it's Discord, in the chat, or message me if you have any prayer requests for that night. And as usual, if you're interested in supporting this, head over to patreon.com/thegothicmystic. Until Sunday, I hope everyone has a good night.